everybody, it's Rachel with HOSTLEASE. I wanted to talk to you today about some tips for maximizing your booking. So when you get a booking, I saw a quote and it was like a small business owner, whenever they get a sale, the business owner is doing a happy dance. I feel like being a host is the same way. My partner and I, when it, pings on our phone or our watches, we're like, we got another booking. That excitement will probably diminish a little bit over time, but truly it's very exciting when you get that booking. So when you get that booking, you've done your work and you're priced right. You've got your nightly rate dialed in, so that each booking you get, you're maximizing it. But as I've been doing this for many years, I've realized that there are ways to add on and get some extra revenue out of each booking. So what I'm talking about there, and you'll find this, that many people ask for an early check-in or a late checkout. Totally understand that. For our operations, I used to do 11 a.m. check-in, 4 p.m. checkout. I realized that I needed to change that. And so I do 10 a.m. checkout and a 3 p.m. check-in. So that gives a better window for when people are arriving and leaving. But you're still going to get plenty of people that have an early flight or they want to sleep in. Maybe they had a big date night or a big concert the night before, and 10 a.m. feels really early to them. Totally get it. We've all been there. So for those people, there's two ways to handle it. I used to actually offer a late checkout charge or an early check-in charge. So that's where I would charge typically around $75 to offer that person the ability to check in early or check out late. I realized that while it was extra revenue, it was causing a little bit of problems with my operations because it was kind of pinning in my cleaners on both ends. Because if I had a guest checking out in the morning and then I had a guest checking in the afternoon, that window, if I offered a late checkout, that compressed the cleaning time from, say, 6 hours down to 3 hours. So I had to figure out how to do that. So what I came up with, so if someone contacted me and said, hey, I would love to have an early check-in, is that possible? First, I want to know what time sometimes if they just want to check in maybe an hour early, that's super easy to accommodate. But a lot of times you will get people whose flight times are super early. They might land in your city at 8 a.m. and then your check-in time is until 3 p.m. They want to get in, maybe take a shower, change their clothes, kind of get settled before they got to get off to a business meeting or meet up with their family or whatever it is. So what I started doing is telling those people, hey, I don't do an early check-in fee, but I can offer you the night before at a discount. Everybody loves the word discount, right? Everybody loves to get a deal. So I'm offering them the night before, knowing they're not going to check in until 8 a.m. because that's when they've told me their flight's arriving. But I'm offering them a discount on the night before, and I tell them, hey, then you can check in anytime after 3 p.m. the day before. So I'm filling that night before at a discounted rate. So typically I offer them about, between $75 and $99 for that additional night. And then I can also do that same strategy for the late checkout. So it's filling my calendar, potentially adding an extra night on the front end and on the back end. The guest feels like they're getting a good deal, which they are, and then it's a win-win for everybody. So that strategy has worked really well in helping to maximize my bookings. Another option for maximizing bookings is for parking. Now, a lot of people, this all depends on if you're hosting at a single family home, you probably have a driveway. You're not going to say, hey, I'm going to charge you extra to park in my driveway. They would be like, get bent. But where most of my units are is in an urban area that does not allow street parking. So I have worked with the parking company that manages the parking lots to secure a negotiated rate. And then I offer my guests that parking at an additional fee. So it saves them the hassle of trying to secure that parking themselves. And then when they show up, they know they have a parking spot. It's safe, secure, and already reserved in advance. Because when you're showing up to a new city, it can be a little, when you're trying to get your lay of the land, if you have one less thing to figure out. So by adding that parking fee, you're maximizing that booking. There's many other things you can explore through potentially Airbnb with experiences. If you wanted to partner with a local restaurant or a coffee shop. For instance, we have a coffee shop in the ground floor of this building. We've created a great relationship with the owners where we can offer breakfast or coffee as an additional add-on. So there's ways that you can work with your local business owners to offer different services, experiences. Say there's a massage therapist or a yoga teacher, someone who has a wine bar, and you could offer those experiences for your guests who may be looking for something special to experience while they're in town. And then you would make an incremental piece of that extra fee. So think creatively, think about where you are and what's close to your unit. What are those, again, those market drivers? Always be aware of where you are, what's going on around you, and then connect those dots, have those conversations with those local business owners. And the thing I love about that too, which is super important in my business, is to be of value to the community that I'm in. And it just helps everyone. High tides, all boats rise. If you want any more information, follow us here on YouTube, on our school channel for more free education, and join the community.